Welcome to Jotunheim Whispers. I am so glad to have you here with me. I'm so happy that you have returned after the first episode, and the first thing I wanna tell is what? So, in the first episode, in the introduction, I have said that I planned for each episode to last for about 15 to 20 minutes, right? And it turned out that I recorded 55. And honestly, I have no idea how I managed to do that. Because I was just talking about me in art, that's it. What was there to listen to? Huh? The hell? Where did I get all of this information from? I literally thought, you know, I think it's gonna be like 5 minutes because I haven't talked about anything, to be honest. Like, I haven't discussed anything that would be important to me, and then I check it, and it's 55 minutes? Of what? Jesus Christ! If you listen to that, I am so sorry. I don't know what came over me, but maybe I am able to speak for a long time. Although I am feeling it in my voice. It's not really easy for me because, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself once again. So, hello, I am I am Jotunheim. I am Frost Jotun, and this is Jotunheim Whispers. Okay, I am going crazy already, but hear me out. I've done a lot of work today, so just please bear with me. Um, I am I am sincerely sorry. That's not me. Um, what was I saying? Jesus Christ! Oh no! Oh no! I forgot what I was telling you. Oh oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah. So here is the thing. I am an artist and a composer and a poet and many other things, which means that the only thing that is interesting for me is art. And also, I am neurodivergent. I am planning to ask about autism, um, at my next appointment with my epileptologist, who is a psychiatrist as well. And well, when I talked to him, I got a vibe that he knew for some reason immediately. So yeah, I'm gonna ask him about that. So that's still not the point of me telling you anything. The point is that, this podcast, Jotunheim Whispers, let's just say it again, it's created so I would be able to share anything that goes on in my brain. Because, well, I don't have a single friend. I live with my mom, which is great, and I am absolutely comfortable in that situation. I know that for Americans it may sound weird, I don't know, but like for us, Europeans, and I guess like other cultures, is completely fine, especially considering the economy. Like, it's just impossible to live separately, and I don't wanna. I like it here. I like my mom. I like our cats. So, yeah. But still, although I don't have any need for a friend, I still need to share my thoughts with anyone. And so that's why I have decided to create this little thing called Jotunheim Whispers on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you you can find it. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, and this will be just me sharing some of my opinions, some of my thoughts that whenever I talk to my mom, I can talk about these things, but sometimes I don't see a point, or it would be a discussion that, okay, we both agree on that, and it goes nowhere, so that's why I am doing this. So, this episode is what have I planned? Well, I have my my notepad right here is for chronic illness and art. Yes. So let me tell you my story. I remember when I was a little kid. When I woke up, I would always feel awful. I would get up, I would go brush my teeth, and that's when I would start losing my vision and I would have this weird spasm in my stomach and my spine and my blood vessels, I guess, and I would know that I need to run to my bed, otherwise, I will faint. And it happened like 2 times that I didn't have enough time to, get to my bed. But other than that, every day I would just run and it would be fine. I would need to lie down for like 10 minutes maybe. There would be like ringing in my ears and I would kinda lose my hearing and kinda lose my vision and stuff like that. And the doctors, they just said, "Oh, you will grow out of it, it's fine." So they didn't care at all and no one helped me, no one even tried to, and stuff like that. And so I got used to that and I just put it into my routine to, whenever I wake up, I need to lie down for at least like 15 minutes or I will just faint, I guess. I don't know. But then, then something changed. I After a small break from violin, when the war started, um, I returned to it and I started practicing every morning for several hours. At the time, it was 4 to 6 hours, and I started noticing that my health is getting worse. So I cannot stand for too long, and you know, it's getting harder and harder to keep going, and I still feel like I'm gonna faint. And there came other issues. So, throughout like a couple years, my practice time reduced from 6 hours to 3 hours and then to 2 hours, and sometimes I practice for an hour and I feel like I'm gonna die. And then a year and a half ago, there was a theater production I was taking part in, and well, my role wasn't big at all, but as a musician, like we were in the worst conditions ever, unfortunately, because we had to be sitting on wooden chairs like for hours and hours and hours and play our instruments and stuff. And it was really difficult for me because I'm kinda, I don't have a butt, so nothing was protecting me from the wood of the chair. Yeah. And so I started having issues with my balance and just walking and my spine in general, which I have had before, but not as bad. I was literally so exhausted, and I was suffering so much that, I became just angry because of pain, and I felt terrible because I don't know how I behaved really, and I am scared that, it was bad. And I'm so sorry. I know that no one from the people who were around could hear me, and I know that, well, I didn't do anything bad, but still I feel awful. And so, oh, I can see my phone is losing its power. Okay. Oh no. Let's just try to record this and we'll see if it will. So, after that 1.5 years, there came a time that I started struggling to walk. Suddenly, like my legs became heavy and weak, and any physical activity would send me into this pre-fainting state, and I would have so many symptoms that, I still have the list and I still need a good doctor, because no one still found anything. But things that I have been diagnosed with were, well, let me just remember. Well, they found like protrusions and hernias in my spine, like all over it. And how did they get there? I have no idea. Like, all the doctors were asking, "Oh, like, are you like a sports person?" And I'm like, "No, I'm the opposite of that. I'm a musician. I cannot do sports at all." And so that's one. Then they found autoimmune thyroid, and they found a, a cyst in my brain, which is, I guess it's fine, but still, it's a cyst in my brain. It's weird, don't you think? And I got diagnosed with, well, depression. That's obvious. Something else that I am forgetting. Oh, connective tissue dysplasia, which means I can like bend my fingers and stuff. And people have like scary diseases. I don't know if I have them or not. I don't have any money left at this point. So, yeah. And the main thing that really took me out of my balance was that, um, it was really interesting that I got diagnosed with epilepsy about 3 weeks ago, and it turned out that I have had it since I was 8. And I know that my doctors, they definitely have heard of the symptoms that my mom then described to the epileptologist, which were like confirming the diagnosis. And it's just crazy to think about the fact that, not a single doctor cared to even check for anything in all of this time. So it's been how many years? 14 years at least of me having epilepsy, and we just didn't know that. So I guess I am fortunate enough to not have terrible seizures, but now I know that sometimes my body, like my neck, uh, together with my head, shakes like it's struck by electricity. And so it turned out it's a seizure that lasts like 1 to 2 seconds. and I have those every day, multiple times. And my whole life I didn't know that, it was a seizure. And those symptoms that were in my childhood, it was like for years I would have nightmares, and in my sleep I would scream and fight and walk, and my eyes would be open, but I would never remember anything, and I would, act as something, but um like there, as my mom said, there would be no connection between us. So I wouldn't know like that it's my mom talking to me, so I would be fighting her as if like I remember one instance of me being, I think, 18 at that point, where um we were forced to sleep in one bed because, well, we are not rich, in another room there was a like her mother, who I will talk about later because it's a long discussion. And so we were sleeping in one bed, and I remembered that I had a dream about a man, just a silhouette of a man standing over me while I'm in bed, and I remember fighting him, and it turned out that it was my mom, and she was screaming like it's me, like everything is fine, and I wasn't aware. So yes, those were also seizures. And another interesting thing is that I was telling the epileptologist about the terrible feeling I have every time I wake up, which is my head and my neck hurt so badly, and my body, that it feels like someone was hitting me with an axe the whole night. And he said, well, yeah, I mean, so if you have a nocturnal seizure at night, your brain swells, and so when you wake up, that's how it feels. So that's what that was this whole time. And you know it is a catharsis for me, because I've had so many terrible, horrible doctors in these half a year, that having some sort of reassurance was so refreshing, and I almost felt happy that I was diagnosed with anything. Although this does not really explain like the state of these spasms anywhere that I have, but still it's something. Because, well, the second neurologist that I've had, it turned out she was also a therapist. And I have nothing against therapy except it's expensive, so I cannot go there. But here is the thing: if you are a neurologist and a therapist at the same time, and a person comes to you with some physical symptoms, and they are telling you, I cannot walk, I am in pain all the time, I am feeling this, and you answer with, well, maybe it's psychological, and your head hurts because you don't want to go somewhere, you're full of crap, and I am not sorry. Like, I genuinely, I am so full of rage whenever I remember this person, because I felt so neglected by her, because she also forced me to go onto antidepressants, which I didn't want to take, and turned out I was right, because my epileptologist said that, with symptoms like yours, those people who don't know, they will prescribe you antidepressants, and maybe they will help you for a while with your psychological state, but then they will stop working, and the possibility of your symptoms getting worse is like almost 100%. Wow, isn't that crazy that I was right? Jesus. Um, and I stopped taking the antidepressants about 3 weeks ago. So before I got diagnosed with epilepsy, because he had to do an EEG, and you cannot take anything before it, so I stopped taking those. And I've been having uh, how is it called, like side effects of not having it for all this time, and I am so tired, honestly. Like anytime I move my eyes, the world feels like it spins around and suddenly stops at the same time. So it's literally a second that feels like a hit in the head and the whole body. And it's constantly, it's every day, it's exhausting. And if you add it to other symptoms, it's like, come on, please have some decency. I am begging you. Um, yeah, so it's really tough for now. And so, chronic illness and art. Well, first of all, I need to maybe think about how any illnesses could be connected to art. Well, here is my train of thoughts. As I said before, I have been suspecting that I have autism and OCD for like about 3 years at this point, maybe four. Um, I really researched it thoroughly. It's not like I saw a TikTok and decided that now I have it. No, I honestly, like, I am very um op- how do you say this? Like, I am trying to do everything fairly. So if I suspect anything about myself, I do my research in order to find the real thing. And so I asked the assistant of my epileptologist, because I know he's a psychiatrist, like, would it be possible to ask him about having adult autism, like, and stuff like that? And she said, well, you can just ask him during your appointment. And I was great. So I Googled like EEG and autism, and well, I found some info that some autistic people are ordered to do an EEG, which is electroencephalogram, which is like some electrodes on your hand that are scanning your brain wave activity, stuff like that. And it said that a lot of people with autism also have epilepsy. And then I found the same info about OCD, that a lot of people with OCD have epilepsy. And me turning out to have epilepsy kinda, forced the feeling that, what, I am like almost 100% sure that I have these disorders. So yeah, and I mean, a lot of chronically ill, and that's not about autism, I'm talking about chronic illness now. A lot of chronically ill people are artistic, are artistic, not autistic, and autistic as well. Well, yeah. So, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a researcher, so don't take me at my word, but I am I am pretty sure that it's connected to arts. And so, since my health started getting worse, I I've started having problems with my art, but not in a way you would think. So I have so many ideas. I have like so many projects, like this podcast here, like streaming, like painting. Like I have these paintings that are hanging up on my closet door right now. Um, I am still practicing music every day. I am rehearsing in theater, so and also I have made a graphic novel all by myself in this time, and obviously painted digitally, stuff like that. So the point isn't lack of motivation or inspiration, but the fact that my body has become so weak and so sensitive to any stress and any activity that, I can just wake up, practice music, and, have planned that I'm gonna paint today, I'm gonna cook today, I'm gonna sew today, and then I would practice and I would realize that I am not able to walk at all. And obviously, in order to do art, you need energy, you need the creative space of your brain, you need your mind to be working. So it's really, really scary in a way, because my whole life I was afraid that I wouldn't have enough time. For some reason, that has always been my fear. And now I almost feel like it was intuition telling me that, while you have the energy, while you have some drops of health left, please work. And so I did. And while I can, I can spend a whole day without any rest, just doing my projects. But then the next day would be me just lying in bed, like I am sitting here right now, and my legs are so tired that, again, I'm not sure I will be able to cook today. So, yeah. And one of the issues is also the financial side of it, which I will be talking about in another episode, just because. And so let me just get a little bit more relaxed. Although it's not really, really possible for me, as I am always in pain, I am always uncomfortable in some sort of way. And whenever I'm lying down, I need to, like, not stretch myself, but to kind of break my body a little bit. So I cannot just lie straight down, I need my legs to point to the right, as they are right now, and my torso to be pointing left. For some reason, it helps with the spasm I have, which I have no explanation for. And so, well, yeah, so my physical state really impacts my art life, and it bothers me so much because, I mean, with my thoughts, I am still thinking about work even if I'm laying down, so I am not resting ever. And with these thoughts and the epilepsy, I cannot sleep well, so I really don't rest. And although I can endure pain, I can ignore it. Like, after some time it still kinda stings you, and you realize that Jesus, like, I cannot do this anymore. How can I just live after this? And I have to spend money on it as well, like on all of these procedures, all of these meds, all of these consultations that, like, in the 96% of the time, they don't have any result for you. Like, no one wants to help you, no one knows what to do, so you are just stuck in it. And as an artist, you don't earn any money, and so yeah, lately I've been really struggling with all of this. And again, the financial thing will be another episode, but yeah, I guess this is pretty much all I wanted to talk about today with you. So, um, if you listen to it, again, thank you so much. I sounded like Trump just now. Thank you so much. Sorry, I- that's disgusting. Thank you, and I am sorry for whining, but this episode was created specifically for this. And so I wish you good health. I wish you to not have chronic pain and other things, and hopefully, medical systems in the world will change at some point. So, thank you for listening to Jotunheim Whispers. And now I will say goodbye.